Rabbi Yossi is a Lubavitcher Chassid who lived in Montreal, who passed away a little more than 20 years ago. Chassidim called him Reb Heschel. He was a Chassidish Yid. He was a very warm, passionate, serious Chassid. And in a way, he was like from the earlier generation. And he worried about such things as emes, as doing things for the right purposes, for ideal reasons. So his son, Rabbi Eliezer, who was the Rebbe Shliach in Tzfas, tells a story about how once on a Simchas Torah, when he was a boy, his Rebbe says to his father says to him, "Kum, we're going some Rebbe. We're going to go to the Rebbe." Rabbi Yeshua Tzeitlin had a considerable amount of l'chaim. It was after all Simchas Torah, and they followed the Rebbe upstairs. And the Rebbe went into his room after davening, which is probably around 2:45, and he followed the Rebbe into his room. The Rebbe turns around and he sees that he's got company, and he gives him a $1 million smile and says to Rabbi Yeshua, "What do you want?" So he tells the Rebbe, "Ich will dienen dem Eibishten mit chocha bissele emes." I want to serve God at least with a bit, a bissele, a little truth. And he bursts into tears and he starts to sob. His son, Aaron Lezer, who was probably less than 10, couldn't understand why his father was so emotional, what he could possibly be crying about so passionately, so intensely. Because at that age, it was hard for him to understand the meaning of the word emes and the pursuit of it and the obsession for it. We are servants of God. We worship God. We serve God. We do what God wants. And naturally, obviously, there's a lot of different types of servants of God. There are as many different methods of service and servant as there are individual people. The Alter Rebbe calls it Hanestoris. When it comes to the spiritual dimension of Judaism, he writes in the introduction to the Tehyeh, and it appears again at the end, in the beginning of chapter 44, Mem Daled, that there are as many distinctive ways of serving God as there are individuals. And certainly one ideal that is, so to speak, at the high end of the spiritual pursuit is the desire for the truth, to serve God because He's true, because He's real, because He's the real deal. And we want a connection to the emes, because in our relationship with the emes, we ourselves have a connection to truth.